What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this very quick review of Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 1, Welcome to Chocolate City. So Episode 2 is already out, and I really debated about even reviewing Episode 1, but when I saw it, I was like, you know what, I gotta talk about some things in Episode 1, so here we are. So we all know that Monique she's the one that has spearheaded this Love and Marriage franchise, and she's going to be like the anchor that holds everybody together. So in her confessional, she starts off by saying, "You may know me from," and so I'm expecting her to say The Real Housewives of Potomac, but instead she says, "You may know me from Not for Lazy Moms." No, sweetheart, we don't know you from Not for Lazy Moms. We know you from The Real Housewives of Potomac, and when you gave Candace the beatdown of her life on camera. So eventually she does mention that, yes, you may know me from that other show, Real Housewives of Potomac. And throughout this episode, she's throwing shade at the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know why, because however you feel like you were portrayed on that show, that's what you presented to us, Monique. She says that she has reality TV PTSD. I'm sure she does. When you think about all the stuff that she went through on Potomac, it makes you really wonder why she would want to do another reality TV, because the Real Housewives of Potomac was not so kind to Monique. There was the issue of her allegedly having an issue with alcohol when Ashley Darby alleged that Monique had ran off the road in her car because she was drinking and driving. Then there was also the issue of her possibly having an affair on Chris with her trainer. That rumor was floating around pretty heavily on Potomac. Then there was her giving Candace Dillard the beatdown of her life on camera, and her possibly facing criminal charges. She probably had to hire some very expensive attorneys to fight off that case. So Potomac was not very kind to Monique. So I really hope that she's able to redeem herself with Love and Marriage DC. She's still doing Not for Lazy Moms, and nobody cares. Then we move on to Ashley Silva. Now, Ashley Silva is a mom, a wife, a podcaster, and a businesswoman. She met Monique years ago, and they connected over some mom podcast. And as the show progresses, we'll learn more and more about these women. Then there's Irena Taylor. She's 48 years old. She said that she's TikTok famous. That's like the first thing out of her mouth. She's TikTok famous. And I thought that was bizarre. That's how she wants to present herself as. Then, so we are here at Monique's event. Monique has a pop-up event, and I don't know what she's selling. Oh yeah, she pushes essential oils. That's what it is. So at this event, we also get to meet Winter Williams. Now, Winter is not a main cast member. She's more or less like a friend of the show. But when they show us scenes for the upcoming season, it seems like Winter probably should have been a major, one of the main cast members, because there's a lot going on with Winter, and she's featured quite a bit in this franchise. So Winter has half of a shaved head. Half of her head is completely shaved. And one of the other women had said, when a woman shaves her head like that, she's been through some things. And Winter has definitely been through some things. So Winter is a mom of 4. She used to be married to a football player until she found out that he was sleeping with a nanny and that he had 2 outside children. So she divorced him. Then she married some 60-year-old man. And evidently, her and her current husband are going through some issues. And we get to learn more about that a little bit later. So at this event, Ashley Silva, who is about Monique's age, and I think their age is like around mid to late 30s, she throws some age shade to Irena Taylor, because Irena Taylor, she has an upcoming 26th wedding anniversary, and so she's inviting all the women to her wedding anniversary. And Ashley tells Irena, when you got married, I was about 12 years old, kind of like, kind of making fun of her age. And I didn't understand why Ashley did that, because Ashley and Irena look like they're the same exact age. If there's like a 10 or 12 year difference, you really can't tell, because Irena looks damn good for her age. So I thought that shade kind of fell flat. So, like I said, she's throwing a 26th anniversary party, and Monique, right off the bat, suggested that maybe Arena can have a Q&A session at her party. And because she wants to know, how have you lasted for 26 years? Because we get to find out later that Monique and Chris are going through some issues in their own marriage. And Irena's like, this is a party. Okay. We want to throw down. We want to shake our booties. We want to have a good time. We want to drink. We don't have time for some Q&A. Like, what are you talking about? A Q&A? No, we're not doing that. Okay, so a little bit later on, we learn more about Irena and her husband, Jamie. So, Irena, her mom lives with her. She has three children. She has two sons and I think and one daughter. And her second son, I think his name is Jason. He's 21 years old and he's visually impaired. And then she has an older son. They call him Little Jamie, who doesn't, I don't think he lives with them. And we hadn't seen the daughter yet. So little Jamie is our oldest son, who is very, very estranged from Big Jamie, which is Irena's husband and little Jamie's father. There's some type of conflict between the father and son. They don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And so they really haven't even talked in quite a few months. And they've been sort of like button heads ever since little Jamie was a teenager. So moving on from there, we go back to Ashley and her husband, Quick. At first I was like, because he's a DJ. Her husband's a DJ. He's like a really internationally known DJ. So when I saw his name was Quick and that he's a DJ, I was like, is she married to DJ Quick? But he's not a DJ. He's a rapper, from the one from California. But no, it's not him at all. It's not him at all. So DJ Quick, I've never heard of this guy, but he's supposed to be like this really well-known, established DJ. He's worked with a lot of A-list celebrities in the music industry. Never heard of him. They have two kids together. And they really struggle with work and life. I guess, her issue with him is that he works way too much and she wants him to spend more time at home. And she feels like she's losing herself in being a mom and a wife. And, she wants to find herself again. So this is the reason why she has her own business ventures and she's writing her own book and she's trying to do all these other things because she doesn't want to lose herself in the role of mom and wife. So it kind of, I always have an issue with women who complain, I have an issue with women who live a certain lifestyle and complain about their husbands working too much. Because of the fact he works a lot, you have this lifestyle. If you're willing to give up this lifestyle, or if you're willing to take over as the main breadwinner, shut it. Don't complain about your husband working too much because you want to live a certain way, unless you don't want to live that way no more. So back to Irena and little Jamie. So they're meeting, Irena and her son, little Jamie, they're meeting at a car lot. I guess he's going to purchase a car. And she tells her son that, you need to try to make things right with your dad. You need to be home a little bit more. I don't know if little Jamie lives with them or not, but she talks about how he's always gone and it really worries her that, he's always out and about. I guess, little Jamie is for the streets. So she's like, we really worry about you all the time. And, we're concerned that we're going to get a knock on the door one day and the cops are going to tell us that something really bad happened to you and you only have one dad, so try to make amends with your father. And then she starts crying and she makes him feel really bad about whatever he's been doing, and so he says he's going to try to do better. So now we're at the Irena and Jamie anniversary party. Oh, by the way, she also invited her son to her anniversary party, and she's really hoping that he does show up. So now we're at the Irena and Jamie anniversary party. So Monique and Chris, they talk to Winter about her marriage. So they sit down and talk to Winter, and I guess they didn't know that her and her second husband have separated, because I think Chris asked her, so how are things going with you and your husband? And she was like, we haven't talked in 6 months. He left. So this is another husband where things are not working out. And so this guy's gone. He's 60 years old. And when he moved out of their marital home, he moved in with his parents. This is what she tells Chris and Monique. And I'm like, he moved in with his parents. He's 60 years old and he couldn't get himself a little efficiency for 6 months, or a month to month efficiency or something. Or, what do they call those live-in suites where you pay by the week? What's wrong with his finances that a 60-year-old man had to move back in with his parents after leaving his wife's home? That was insane. So yeah, we don't know why, as of now, the 60-year-old man left her, but she's having issues with this guy. So then Ashley and Quick arrive, and there's a lot of talk about Quick being a workaholic. He works way too much, and y'all know how I feel about that. If you want to live a certain lifestyle, Ash, you got to let your man do what he's got to do. So then Irena and Jamie finally make their grand appearance, and Monique is just fangirling over this couple. She's talking about how their clothes are coordinated, and they look so beautiful together, and this is what 26 years of marriage looks like. And so Irena and Jamie, they're making their rounds, saying hi to all their guests. And as soon as they sit down with Monique and Chris and Winter and Ashley and Quick, they just start with the questions. Okay, how have y'all made it this long? And what advice do you have to give to other couples? And it's like, they don't want to talk about that. Irena and Jamie don't want to talk about marriages and marital advice and Q&As. They just want to have a good time. So yeah, it was like, can't you read the room, Monique, and then Monique kept on talking about, yeah, I really wanted to do a Q&A. I wanted to do a Q&A. Why do you want to do a Q&A at a party? This is not a business event. This is a party, an anniversary party. Get off of those damn seats, go to that dance floor and shake something. So that completely went left with the Q&A. And so then Big Jamie realizes that his son has just walked in, because he didn't know if his son was going to even make an attempt to show up. And in his confessional, Big Jamie says, wow, he actually showed up. I hope he doesn't do anything crazy or anything to piss me off. Okay, you haven't seen your son in 6 months, and this is what's going through your mind. This is your thought process. Like, he better not do nothing crazy, or he better not do nothing to piss me off. Not even like, oh my God, I'm so glad he came. And then you run up and hug your son. Anyways, so little Jamie and Big Jamie, they move off to the side to have a conversation. And it seems like little Jamie, like I said, he's for the streets. And so he's been hanging around with the wrong crowd, smoking weed every day. And, his parents are not going to tolerate that. So little Jamie's whole thing is, y'all treat me like a kid. And the father tells him, well, if you feel like we're treating you like a kid, it's because we care about you. We're always on you because we care about you and we love you. We don't want anything bad to happen to you. So he says that he's kind of toned down on the weed smoking. I guess he's reevaluating his friends. I guess he's trying to get himself together. So the next day, Monique and Chris are having breakfast, and they're having a conversation about Irena and Jamie and how they were not willing to give any marital advice. Like, why are y'all so hooked up on whether Irena and Jamie are giving marital advice? Like, what is up with that? Is your marriage in such crisis that you are like so desperate to ask anybody? And, can you please give us some marital advice? Can you please give us like a crackhead looking for crack? Can y'all like try to figure this out on your own and stop like depending on other people to guide you through a successful marriage? Marriage is like everything else in life. There is no guarantee. Okay. There's no guarantee. And it seems like Monique is trying to find something like a formula or something that's going to guarantee her a very long lasting marriage. And there's nothing like that, sweetheart. Absolutely nothing. So Chris has a life coach, and I guess the life coach had gotten so far with Chris until she couldn't get any further. So she pulled Monique into their sessions to try to, I guess, help Chris with whatever the hell he's trying to get help on. So while they're having breakfast, they're having a conversation about the therapy sessions and the life coach. And, Chris talks like, he's really trying to make progress, and he's into this whole thing of improving himself. That's what he sounds like in a way. And then I'm not sure. And then he was trying to tell Monique, I just need you to be patient and just hang in there because it's going to be worth it. And then Monique took that completely the wrong way. And she was kind of like, I don't know how she took it, but she took it the wrong way. I don't know if she thought he meant that he was worth her waiting for. Like he's the prize at the end if she's just patient, because she asked him, well, what do you mean by that? You keep giving yourself a pat on the back. So what do you mean by that? And he says that it's going to be worth it for our family if we really stick it through. So then they start talking about some list that she had asked him to do. And this list was supposed to be a list of his desires and his hopes and dreams and aspirations or something like that. And the man still hasn't done this damn list. And I can't think of any man who would be like, willing to do some list like that. That just doesn't seem like something the average man is going to rush to do. So she's still harping on him the fact that he hasn't completed this list. And so then they get into some kind of an argument about this damn list. And I'm like, what the hell is going on between Chris and Monique? Because Chris seems very angry. Like below the surface, you can tell that there's a lot of anger there. And Monique is trying to act like the problem is him, and that she's not showing any type of accountability for herself. And I'm like, is this really about that damn affair, that alleged affair that Monique allegedly had on her husband with her trainer? Is this what's really going on here? Because I'm beginning to wonder if this argument is more about some underlying issues and less about a damn list. So I don't know if Monique is trying to fish around and figure out, is he still mad about that alleged affair that supposedly didn't happen, or like what's really, because Chris seems to, he's a big guy and like you can tell that like right beneath the surface there's some type of anger there, and it's kind of scary when that anger kind of starts to poke through. So I don't know what's going on between these two people. And I'm surprised that they, unless it's all fake, I'm surprised that they were willing to show so much of the cracks in their marriage so soon, or even at all, because I would have thought that Monique wanted to present like her and Chris were in this perfect marriage. But no, she's up there begging for advice. He's got a life coach that only got so far with him. Then they're arguing about some list. And then we can't forget about that affair, that alleged affair that Monique held. We can't forget about that. So, yeah, that is the end of my review. I'm going to stop it right here because it's been going on way too long and I got to get to episode 2. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe. If you don't worry about it. Thanks for stopping by anyway, and I will definitely talk to you later.